Hi everyone and welcome to your session on how to create a bulletproof CV. This session is conducted across students of all LawSikho courses in any executive certificate or diploma course or a master access or a litigation library student. Our goal today is to work on creating a bulletproof CV. What do I mean by a bulletproof CV? The idea is that whatever be the situation, your professional career should be solid enough and it should reflect on your CV so that you can move to a position and a job you want to get to. Now, that doesn't happen at the last moment when you want the job. It will happen when you know and you are preparing every day before you have even sight on a job. Before you set your mind to something, you will still be doing something to move forward in life, right? And that is basically what you are going to document in your CV. Now, those of you who want to build a career in freelancing, so there are people who are law students, there are those of you who are not law students. Some of you want to, for law students, I am assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, okay? And say yes or say no. All law students, I believe you are looking at internships or jobs, and that's the outcome you want from your CV. Whereas those of you who are not law students but working professionals, you want to either look for your next job. Some of you want to pitch to independent clients and you want to send your CV. So if you are a litigator, for example, and you want to present your CV to a company to get retainership work or to get litigation matters, then you have to present a very different kind of CV from the CV that you do in college. Because that CV will have to say which are the cases you argued in, which are the judgments your name is cited in, how many appearances in which forums do you regularly do. That kind of a thing needs to be communicated in a CV where you are a practitioner. Okay, so a lot of unconventional ways are there to do that. Okay, now one of the core aspects that I will explore today is that how do you represent the skills you've acquired from your LawSikho course in your CV. And for that, I am going to invite each one of you representing different target audiences. Like some of you are law students, some are CS plus lawyers, dual qualified, some are in-house counsels. So I'm going to ask each one of you to share your existing CV on screen share, and we are going to see how you can improve that CV and represent what you are doing in a LawSikho course. Now, the reason why I'm organizing this session is because a lot of you are not adequately representing the skills you are acquiring in a course. And you know that in the market, people think that some of us have the perception that Harvard degree matters, while others say that it is only skills that really matter. Now, whatever be the case, what is the skill how do we show our skills in the CV? That is going to matter, right? So when I hire someone, and when I'm talking about LawSikho, okay, when I hire someone at LawSikho, it doesn't matter to me which college they are from. What matters, I look at it maybe for like 2-3 seconds, but I don't pay much attention to it. Their prior work experience matters a little more. And more than that, what matters is what they have done. Even if they don't have prior work experience, what is the depth of experience they have? So if I am looking for a position in which I don't need a fresher but an experienced person, I will see that where they have worked, and more importantly, what they have written about where they have worked. So if 10 people write about, I've done a WIPO online course on IPR, but nobody says what they learned in it, I am not going to pay attention to it, because it doesn't tell me how they can help me in the work that I am doing in the organization. How do they fit the role that they are applying for? That doesn't communicate anything about it. So we are going to look at ways in which you can communicate what you have learned in the courses. And this includes even, this is for what you've learned in the courses and what additionally you've learned in the period of time that you're doing the course. Okay, this is one primary area of focus. If you want to bring anything else for discussion, feel free to do so. We can discuss that as well. I would love to have some of you volunteer to share your current CV, okay, and for feedback. And then we can actually identify that what is it that could be added. And it will also give opportunity for some other people here to share. So does anyone accept my invitation to share your CV? I understand that it takes some boldness and
Can I
courage
share
to
it?
put in the public.
Can I share it?
Yeah. What is your name?
Shreyas.
Sorry?
Shreyas.
Yes, yeah. Please do it.
Is it screen sharing? How can I share this one?
You open it and then say screen sharing. Click on share below, and it might say that request for permission has been given. I will allow it.
Okay.
Okay, so I will request different people from different interest groups to share. One law student, one practitioner.
I'm a practitioner.
You're a practitioner, Shreyas?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Then one CS, someone who's dual qualified, Mr. J. Wadhwa. Is that correct pronunciation?
This is the one.
Wadhwa you can share afterwards. So first Shreyas, Mr. J. Wadhwa next. We want a law student also to share. So who's a law student amongst Afif, Mohit, Mehul? Mehul wants to share as a law student. Okay, so anyway, one of you will share after this. And what we have to ensure is, irrespective of the fact that you don't get an opportunity to share, still you should benefit. Okay, for those of you who don't have a CV, tell me how do you want to be guided at the moment? You can look at other CVs and then maybe make your own CV.
Is
You're
it
sharing your desktop. When this opens, when the resume opens, after that you should share that specific window.
okay? Now is it visible?
Yeah, perfect. Now, okay. Where are you a legal associate?
I'm currently currently working to VGB Associates. VGB Associates,
Okay,
Bangalore.
okay. But where is that written? Below.
Yes, yes. Work experience.
Yeah, I saw. But it's not written above, and you've written legal associate above. Okay, so these kind of things become a little problematic. Look at the
Sir,
top.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, you can just tell me how can
You
I
can give me
go.
screen share also. You can give me mouse control if you want. Okay, so where are you a legal associate? It is good if you write there. Okay.
I mean, I am not working there right now. So
Okay. So you are a freelance lawyer?
yes,
Okay.
right now I'm a freelance.
So you can write that maybe, freelancer.
Okay.
That's what you're currently doing. Okay. Now, what is it that you want to accomplish, Shreyas?
I'm looking for a better job. That's it.
Where is your LLB degree? Is this no? Where is your LLB degree? This KLE
This
law,
is a bachelor's degree.
right?
Yes, yes, yes. Bachelor's of.
Now you've written about. So if somebody asks you what are the skills that you have, what could you
Yes.
say?
I have dealt with cases like amalgamation, mergers and amalgamation, disqualification of directors, restoration of companies, and with regard to all sort of civil cases I have dealt with.
Okay, now tell me, what is your area of interest? If you send this CV to someone, what will you want from them? Like,
Uh,
what kind of job, what kind of client, what do you want to use this CV for?
it's like if I'm joining a law firm, it would be a mixed profile, right? It will not be a specific area where I'm going to work in.
No, you want to join, if you join a corporate law firm, it will be different. If it will be an IP firm, it will be different. If it's a smaller law firm which is doing everything, it may be different again. Okay.
No, as of now, I have experience in everything other than labor law.
Okay.
Other than labor law, I'm having experience in everything other than labor law and this means contract drafting and drafting I have not done. Means with regard to this contracts.
So in the course, what have you done?
In the course I have completed right now I have completed 2 assignments.
Okay. Okay. Now look at your left hand side where you've written that you can do all these things, right?
Yes. Vetting of documents, I can do it.
Now you are an experienced person in a very senior position. How many years of experience you said total?
Total of 3 years.
Not senior. Okay. Fresher to mid-level, basically it will be.
Yes.
A law firm may want to hire you in a mid-level, in a fresher position also, but at a good salary. That is possible. Now the question is this, okay? Some of your skills here, let's look at your left-hand skill. Legal
Yes.
research, vetting of documents, client counseling, analytical and logical reasoning.
Yes.
Okay? Time management, teamwork, basic computer knowledge. So some of these, and now look at something else. Drafting of memorandums of plaints, petitions, criminal complaints, legal notices, various deeds and agreements. So some things are highly specific and relevant to a practitioner's area of work, whereas other things are about, like computer knowledge is somebody when I say computer knowledge, that is usually for an office boy or an admin executive job.
Okay.
Right? Or if I see a client analytical and logical reasoning, this is for a very, very fresher basic position.
Okay.
Okay, now you want to do some industry research, or at least, when people hire you in these well-paid positions, they are going to give you very specific work. So as a lawyer, what you need to be clear about is what are the hard skills I have. So there are going to be two different sets of skills. What is the technical work you can do? Okay, now there's one problem. Drafting of memorandum of plaints. There is a plaint, there's a memorandum of appeals.
Yes.
So what are you referring to? Because somebody who does civil litigation work will call this and this is not an excusable mistake. They will stop looking at the CV after this. Okay, you don't want that to happen because you have a lot of skills. So you don't want to be a victim of their bias, for which you will have to ensure that your this thing is very accurate, right? Your CV.
Yeah.
So now think about a classification that will enable you to represent your skills properly. Everybody in this session, okay, it's not just about stress. How do you represent your skills adequately and where? That is going to be a big challenge, and let's think about it now. Like Shreyas, what would you do?
See, how can I rectify it now? That's it. My question is
how. Think about a law firm. What is the work a law firm does?
A law firm, I have not worked for only one law firm I have worked as of now. It does everything, literally everything. It does everything.
So break it down.
Dealing with civil cases, all the company cases, everything I've dealt with.
Okay.
And I had practiced in NCLT, Bangalore NCLT for 1 year. Regard to all the cases, and with regard to criminal courts, I have worked for around 1 year, and civil I have worked for 2 years. Civil courts. Yeah, that is what my experience is.
Okay, so my quick suggestion, I'll tell you. Okay, if you've got 3 years of experience, then your participation in moots and seminars and workshops becomes not so useful, but this type of cases handled is very, very useful. Okay, so this needs to move up completely.
Okay.
Your participation, seminars, in workshops, but this is important for law students who want internships and jobs. Okay, freshers, this is important. If you are not a fresher, it's not so important, but your types of cases handled is the most important. And if you look at this, your work as a legal associate in either KSM Legal or VGP Associates, why is it not saying that what is the work you did? You are talking about the area of law. But if I am looking at you, if I'm talking to a client, the client will say, what relief can you get me, right? So if I'm talking to a client, I can say, okay, I can draft maybe service provider agreements, employment agreements, statements of work, technology contracts, regular SPAs, all of that. So I will say I have these skills, then the client understands I can do this. If I'm talking to a law firm recruiter, I can say, okay, listen, I can help you with your litigation work. I can go to court and argue directly, or I can brief somebody. I can draft various kinds of court documents, which are A, B, C, D, E. So the law firm recruiter, law firm partner will think that, okay, so this team I can put him in. I can give him this kind of work. Maybe he can be the second to the partner because there's no mid-level person. or maybe he's a fresher only because we already do this work, but he has to be able to place you. Right now, there is a difficulty in placing where you stand, because in KSM legal, for example, you worked on civil law, family law, company law. But can you
Yes.
say one thing you did and then write it in your CV?
Yes, I can do it.
So you can say divorce cases, or
Divorce cases I have handled.
argued and advised on divorce cases, drafted petitions.
Yes,
You have to be
yes.
very clear what work you did, right? So you argued.
Yes, I have argued.
So that's
Not on the final arguments, but I have argued on the IAs, everything.
You've argued on interim applications. This is very important.
Yes, interim applications have argued.
Drafted?
I have drafted the divorce petitions. I have drafted maintenance petitions. I have drafted means what type of civil cases. I have drafted many things here. Interim injunctions, petitions, everything I have drafted.
So what have you drafted? What have you argued? What have you advised on? If you can draft and argue, mostly it is understood that you would have done some advisory work around it. But now you're talking, right? Now you're saying what you can do. But family law, though, we have a textbook in family law in second year, and that textbook doesn't teach us anything about practice. Like after reading that, a law student cannot draft any petition. And your ability to draft it is because of some practical experience, understanding of civil procedure code, lot of things.
Yes.
Have you done appellate work?
We didn't want to make it as repeated thing, so I classified it in particular thing.
What repeated?
These things, 1 minute. These things, skills as written, right? The
so
skills
your
are
school education now, 1 second, sorry, just before we go to skills, your whole school education has to come in like 1/3 the space that it's coming in right now. Every item is taking 4 lines. Okay, usually if you see a CV, this whole education part comes in 4 to 6 lines. All of this. Okay, like figure out a way to put the whole thing in 4 lines. It will free up a lot of space in your CV. Okay, and education is a hygiene factor. What do you mean by hygiene? That there's no obvious problem here. So people are just going to give a very quick glance. Maybe they will use it to understand your background, education, and maybe ask you some questions about your school life. But that's a starting talking point to understand you as a person. But there's no more detail. Like, Master of Laws, graduated 2016, University Law College, Bangalore University, Bangalore, Karnataka. All these are now, you can reduce this right into 1 line.
Okay.
You can reduce
I can.
So just do that and it will become very, very slick. Okay. Yeah, now go on. You were telling me about why you did this with your skills. And everybody in the chat box, please keep sharing about how you can implement this in your situation.
It was just because it was, I don't want it to be repeated or anything like that. So I kept it. So
what is repeating? But
means if skills also is written here, if I write in this as a legal associate, what and all I have done.
Yeah.
So will it not take as a repetition? It will not be as a repetition or anything like that.
No. See, the work you do in 16 to 17 and 7 to 19, if it's the same work, then say you did the same work. But if it's different work, I see that company law, consumer law was unique to VGB associates, right?
Yes.
And you need to go in descending order of priority. So go from the most recent to the less recent. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Anubhav, there's no difference between CV and resume. Okay. Now, so tell me what you did. So each of these, now we need to know what you can file, which forums you are comfortable with, which districts you can do this work in. Okay, that is what is important. Are you comfortable with appellate work? Have you done some corporate transactions? In corporate, have you done like M&A work, share purchase work, or have you done schemes of arrangement?
No. I have not done anything.
Okay, so what is the corporate work you've done?
I have done only attending courts, before courts. Whatever work is before the NCLT tribunal or high courts, I have done it with regard to corporate things.
Sorry?
With regard to corporate things, it's like whatever cases were before the tribunals and high courts, I have done it. Like
What
amalgamation,
were there? Operation and misconduct was there. Dis
months?
Disqualification of directors.
Yes, yes.
And
Disqualification of
whatever.
directors.
3 years you can't do
Restoration
anything possible.
months?
I'm saying in 2 years or 3 years you can't see everything possible.
Yes.
Or if you think that's great, then say that X, Y, Z, A, B, C is what I saw. Because it
Okay.
doesn't sound very believable on the face of it. If you see, like, it's like somebody saying in 3 years, I have done a lot of constitutional law cases and I'm an expert in constitutional law. Won't sound credible, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's the deal with company law. Company law, if you look at it, how it's practiced in the top law firms, they do a lot of shareholders agreements, joint ventures, FDI related work. If you've not done that, and you should say what you've done, because there has to be a job and candidate fit also, right? So you want the jobs that you are fit for and where your experience is related. And if there's a learning curve, you also want to know that. You don't want to misrepresent.
Yes, yes, yes. Sure, I will specify it and I will get back to you.
Okay. Now, did you follow the process of what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
CV is not bad. Okay, your experience is really good, and you can it is not being reflected in your CV, so it is looking like a generic CV.
Okay.
Right?
I will rectify the mistakes what I've done.
It's not a mistake. It's just a way to improve the CV. Now, what like this types of cases handled is very good. It needs to go in above into the work experience part. And what you did in these cases, how did you handle? Like restoration of companies, where did you file the petition? Did you draft it, file it? Did you handle the whole thing alone?
Have completed everything.
Yeah.
From filing it to getting it restored, I have done it.
That's what you have to say then.
I filed the documents even before the RD after restoration order was received.
You should know that not many people with 3 years of experience can do all this.
Okay.
Consumer disputes, did you go in appellate forum?
Not an appellate forum. It's just a.
Did you
yes, appellate forum I have appeared. I have appeared in appellate forums also.
You have to say bracket district and appellate, district and state forum. Have you done medical negligence cases?
Yes, I have handled 2 medical negligence cases too.
Wow. You won any of them?
It was still going on actually. It was, yes, partially good.
So you have to say this, okay, that this is what I worked on. It's not, it's telling us open-ended stuff right now. Money recovery means what? Civil procedure code?
Yes, yes, civil procedure code.
So what?
With regard to
ordinary suit for money recovery.
Yes, yes, it was.
So this means that you know how to draft a money recovery suit. But in money recovery today, it's being done in a very different way. There is IBC and MSMED Act which are being used to recover money, and civil.
Yes, yes, that also I have dealt with. Yes,
there is.
I have dealt with operation and IBC court cases also have dealt. I have dealt with along with 16 cases.
Creditors send a notice where more than 1 lakh is due. Have you done those situations?
Yes, I have sent notices both for operational creditors as well as financial creditors.
Where is that written?
No, I missed it. Missed that part. Missed that part.
You're not selling yourself as well as you can, and there is good stuff you've done which is not there, which is why I'm saying you're not selling yourself. You don't have to fake anything, but what you've done is not brought out.
Okay.
Okay, what are the others? Are there takeaways for you, Shreyas, from this conversation?
Sir, I didn't get you.
Is there any learning for you from this conversation?
Yes, yes, yes. Sure, sure.
What is the learning?
Sir, see, as a person, we make mistakes, means small amount of mistakes. Now you have taught me how to frame it properly. Though there is complete information, the way we put it before other persons make point. Only
that's going to matter, because the decision to give you the job is with the other person, or even the client to give you the mandate. So what it looks like to the other person is what matters the most.
Yes.
And you should also think about what does the other person need. Okay. Yes. So maybe if you talk to people and understand what law firms want, or what a law firm you want to work in wants. Maybe think of maybe 5 law firms you might want to work in. Talk to them and say, what kind of person do you want? What should he have done?
Okay.
And frame it accordingly.
Okay.
In a way, making a CV is very similar to making a proposal, okay, to give services to your clients. You'd agree
Yes.
with that?
Yes. 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 Sure. Sure.
Okay. So whenever we make a proposal nowadays, for LawSikho, if we are going to work with a business, like we worked with ITC, ICICI, Mahindra, Samsung, lot of companies we work with. Over time,
I have worked for Deloitte for 2 years actually. Means
no, as a vendor.
as a means I was taking up our firm was taking up their merger cases.
Okay, okay. So no, I'm sharing a different perspective. You might have worked on those projects, right?
Yes.
Did you pitch the deal
Yes, it
to
was
the
completed.
companies?
Yes, it was completed.
So what was unique there?
Now it was like nothing unique. Means
You followed
it
the
was
best practices of Deloitte, right? How they make proposals.
yes. Yes.
Now consider that for making your CV, you don't have a best practice with you right now. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when LawSikho started proposing, the first proposal we made, we didn't have a best practice with us, right?
Yeah.
Over time, we developed some best practices, and based on some successes from the last year, we have got a process in place. And this process, the first step is that we send a requirement analysis form, okay, to the entity which says that, okay, what can you give us? We need help for this. What can you give us? Earlier, we used to send them a big proposal, which was very beautiful and detailed, but it used to get rejected. And all our work of making a good proposal would go waste. Okay. Now, however, making the proposal is the last stage, and there are 2 or 3 rounds of back and forth that happens, and we have made a very detailed requirement analysis form, which people go through to write down where is the gap they need, what do the people already know, where do they make mistakes, what is the cost of these mistakes, what are the things that they need training on. Like as much detail as possible is first written by the potential client before we send them any proposal.
Yes.
Then we may get on a call with them and we may further ask more questions. After 2 or 3 rounds, we are clear what to do. Then we send them a proposal which is customized to their needs. Okay. Now, this process of finding out what your client wants, you need to do.
Okay.
As part of your work in making a CV, because all those of you who want to move laterally, I think you have clear mindset that, okay, I want these kind of people as people who give me work, or retainership clients, or I want to pursue a job with them, right? So you have some sense of the names, or maybe you have a fancy about their brand, that this kind of a firm will be great, and it's good to have that. But then go and find out that what is the kind of people they need at that level, at the level at which you are, and you can do that. All the exercises which you do to reach out to people and network, they need to be going in that direction, okay, by asking what they need. Okay, when you know that, then you will be able to customize your CV. For example, if you apply to, let's say, an Amarchand in their corporate team,
yes,
they might find a diverse CV to be, I don't know if they'll like it or they'll not like it, but if you're going to a smaller law firm, they will love it.
Yes.
Right? But a big law firm may want more concentrated experience on, let's say, transactional law. Banking finance you want to apply to, okay, what is your banking finance experience? If you're a general lawyer, then they'll say, okay, we'll take you as a fresher. You understand basics of law, we won't have to train you, come as a fresher. Okay.
But now, actually, I have a mixed experience as of now. I've tried every field.
Yeah, but do you think, so that is good. Now it is one thing to say, I will say what I have and let the other person decide. Then that's not a CV, right?
Okay.
You're getting it. That is interaction. You can find that out in the interaction when you talk. After that, when you decide that, okay, I want to apply to this place and this is what this person needs. Like an IP law firm will need a different kind of experience. Now, when you're representing to an IP law firm, for example, in IP law firms, those which have a litigation practice, they will want injunction related skills. Okay. So your injunctions which you have got in matrimonial cases might be relevant even there. That's the closest match.
Yes.
Right? Because injunctions in trademarks and copyright related cases are important.
Okay.
Okay. So that is how you will be able to tweak your case. Money recovery suit, what is important? Maybe quantification of damages might be something useful that you know as a skill.
Yes.
And you can highlight that for trademark infringement or for trademark litigation.
Okay.
For corporate practice, no use. But then you will say what? For corporate, you will find out some other transactions and deeds and agreements you drafted. Highlight those. 15 of those you will highlight.
Okay. As of now, I have drafted only 4 agreements here. No,
yeah, but there are 50 in the 100 in the contract drafting course only.
Yes, 100 in the contract drafting course. But as of now, I have learned only 4. And next 2, I am working on it.
But if you do those 100,
yes,
then you can write down names. Maybe you can categorize and write down names. If you write all 100, it will blow up your CV completely into many more pages. But you can say, I can draft those 10 categories. And if somebody doesn't believe it, you can talk to them and say, look, these are the commercials. This is how it's done. And it's not taught in so much detail in a course usually, but I've understood it fully inside out by doing a practice exercise. And if you want, you can give me a sample work, trial, transaction or a draft, and I can tell you what are the holes in it or how to improve it.
Yes, yes.
I can do it. With that confidence, because you've written so much and you are actually matching up to that when in your speaking, then somebody will be highly impressed by that.
Yes. Yeah. I can understand.
And now all of this that I'm saying applies to law students also. Because if you want a tax firm job or you want a litigation job, then you will customize and specialize on that. And please use every exercise you do in the course as, a reference point that I can use it in an interview. If I learn this, I can use it in an interview. Literally, it's that good, because when you understand inside out how, let's say, a book publisher agreement is drafted, you can explain that to a law firm partner in a way that he'll be inspired. Law firm partners don't do book publisher agreements every day. Okay, if you tell them, okay, this is how digital is different from physical book publishing agreement, or any other draft, if you tell them, okay, this is how share purchase agreements are drafted, this is how a demat share purchase is different from a normal share purchase agreement, or these are the specific filings that need to happen at a company level for share purchase agreements to be closed out, then they will feel that you're talking at their level, and if they have to say something to you, they can communicate it, you can do the job. So any takeaways from this part of the conversation?
Is it like, can I get back once I rectify my resume?
Yeah, you can get back to me. You can message me on my phone or email. Anything that works, okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Now, what's the takeaway from this part of the conversation?
Sir, it is very important to show that what is my particular skill that I can give out to the companies which will hire me.
Yeah, I got that, Shreyas, that this was relevant for you, and what you learned also, I understood.